Some 2 years ago, over 300 pupils were kidnapped from a boys' secondary boarding school in Kankara, Katsina State. A gang of gunmen and motorcycles had attacked the government science secondary school where more than 800 pupils reside for over an hour. Well, the armed forces on the second day, 12th December 2020, said they found the gang's hideout in the forest and exchanged gunfire with them. 5 days after, on the 17th of December 2 years ago, the Katsina State governor did say that the 344 of the victims had been freed from where they were being held in a wound in neighboring Zamfara state, leaving the controversy of whether or not ransom was paid for their freedom. Let's speak to Bashir Ruwangodiya, special advisor to the Katsina State Governor on higher education, about developments 2 years after the Kankara abduction. The audacity with which the terrorists kidnapped over 300 boys raised the conversation about what appears to be an outright disregard for security operatives and also the safety of students in Katsina State schools. What would you say the situation is today, 2 years after?
Alhamdulillah, we are very grateful to Almighty for the wisdom that has been bestowed on His own servant, especially the leaders in Katsina State. Certainly, the government has been very, very much up and doing in terms of ensuring the safety and security of lives and properties in Katsina State. To be specific, the government, after the incident of Kankara, the kidnap of our boys in Kankara, actually swung into action where concerted efforts were made in terms of synergy with the security agencies, and then the issue of providing special and deployment of security agencies, especially more armed personnel, the military, the MOPOL, our various schools, and then the initiating of what we call safe campuses in terms of our institutions, where security committees were in liaison with the security agencies, the stakeholders, especially traditional institutions, religious institutions, and community leaders, to ensure that everybody is sensitized on what is supposed to contribute in terms of curtailing the menace. Again, all, or virtually most of our schools are provided with wall fencing and a kind of barbed wire on top of the walls to ensure that they are secured. And then proper illumination is also provided to our schools. This is in addition to a kind of sensitization of the students as well as the staff. In fact, a 2-day workshop was instituted and convened to ensure that all heads of institutions are sensitized to what they are supposed to do and what they are supposed to understand in terms of security strategies. A lot of things in terms of day-to-day meetings with security agencies conducted every time. And the government has also been up and doing in terms of providing whatever is needed by security personnel and security agencies in state, in spite of the fact that it's doing some best to ensure that everything they need in terms of logistics support is also provided to ensure that we have these kids on our campuses and in the parts of Katsina State. So by and large, you can say in 2 years we have recorded successes in terms of reduction, in terms of frequency and magnitude of attacks in our and in parts of Katsina State. I'm not saying it has been completely stopped, but virtually the frequency has virtually been minimized. The kind of magnitude has also been minimized. One of the days when you hear a whole community being ravaged, people being killed in their numbers, and houses being kind of burned to ashes, properties destroyed, and men and women being abducted into the bushes. That has reduced in the last 2 years. So we can only have scores of maybe attacks, maybe especially people working on farmlands. I can even tell you that even yesterday, I can tell you in Masari local government, 3 were kidnapped at Eruga site where a project is being executed by state government. 3 people were abducted from there. I think in Libya also in the Zandam area, 2 people were also killed. These are some of the things that you hear after 2-3 weeks compared to what we were having in the last 2 years when you have a whole community being ravaged by the bandits. So I can say there is a very, very good development in terms of minimization, in terms of reduction.
I hear you, Mr. Ruwangodiya. You're saying that the frequency have reduced. However, in the past 3 weeks, just like you said, there's been some reported abduction in places of worship, on farms. For instance, on the 3rd of November, the police spokesman confirmed that they are on a rescue mission to get back some 21 teenagers that were abducted on the farm. But quickly speak to us about concerns about getting young people in Katsina educated. The National Bureau of Statistics just last month said that majority of children aged 10 and above in northern Nigeria lack basic education. And it puts the figure for your state at a staggering 73%. How worrisome is this for the state government, and what are you doing about it?
This actually is worrisome. And yes, you have just stated rightly that the whole northern part of the country is affected with this kind of statistics. And Katsina is one of the states that is being affected. But as a government, our government has been trying its own best. Since the inception of this administration, far back in 2016, the governor has been doing his own best to ensure that we have constructed new primary and new secondary schools in their numbers. More classes, about thousands of them, were also added to our existing schools. And then we are also ensuring that we have this issue of ensuring additional enrollment in our basic education. And funds are also being, the budget is being improved every year to ensure that it caters for the recruitment of more teachers. I can tell you about 5,000 or more teachers were recruited in the state after the inception of this government. This is in addition to our S-Power initiative, which also recruit or have been recruited teachers in their numbers for basic schools. And then in terms of secondary schools also, in fact, even last month, teachers are recruited in our secondary schools. So efforts are being made to ensure that teaching materials and instructional materials are being provided, more funding is being provided, schools are being expanded. Virtually, the input has been so much tremendous by the government that has even led to the increase in terms of our change, in terms of our success in WAEC and NECO this time around. So you can start from time to time ensure, if you go to the statistics, compare the statistics of 2014, before 2014 and what we have after 2015, you'll find that the number actually has reduced. I cannot give you the figures now, but if you compare this years, you find that there is a reduction in the number of out-of-school children in Katsina State.
It's a good place to leave it. Just today, the Kaduna State Governor was advocating for the first 12 years of free and compulsory education to be passed by the National Assembly. And we're looking forward to how much impact that will have on northern Nigeria. Bashir Ruwangodiya is a special advisor to Katsina State Governor on higher education. Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight.